Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing fine. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Before I start, guys, please don't forget to smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, all that sweet stuff would be much appreciated, of course, guys. Absolutely. Now, look, guys, it's been another awful few hours for us. It feels like a loss. Man United draw 1-1 with West Ham United in a game that, in theory, we should have won. In theory, we had to win. The type of game, if you have aspirations to be in the Champions League, you have to win. Of course you do. We've dropped, points against Nottingham Forest, Tottenham, Everton, and West Ham. Games which, on paper, you look at by form, and we should be picking up points. We should be picking up wins, not draws. And when we're looking at the game yesterday, and I don't want this to be a fest of get the manager out of my club, get him out, it's the manager. I want us to have an intelligent conversation here. I want us to speak logically with angles and layers to this conversation, because I don't want us to just come on this channel and just say, get him out of club, he's out of his depth, because that is too simple to do. That's a simpleton kind of an opinion. I want to have a non-mandem opinion. I want to have an educated opinion, an opinion about the football club, opinion about how Manchester United go forward. This is what's the most important thing for me. Now, when I analysed the game yesterday, I saw a lot of good, but I also saw the same old problems that Manchester United have been having for many years now. It's the inability to finish chances. It's the ruthlessness that we don't have. In the first half, Manchester United could have easily been 2-3-0 up. And I know it's no consolation for me saying that, but we could have been 2 or 3-0 up in the game. And you know, I felt that Man United could have went on in the game and probably won the game in the second half. But again, we switched it off. Light switch FC in the second half. Now, a lot will be made about the substitutions. Lots will be made about in-game management. But I'm going to bring it in, as I told you, on a multi-layered level, okay? There were a lot of poor performances out there yesterday. I've seen players walking on the pitch. I didn't see no intensity, in particular in the second half. I didn't see a build-up, quick, urgency. I didn't see any of that yesterday. I didn't see a will to win. I didn't say I break my leg to win this game for my fans, for the club. I didn't see that yesterday. I saw, again, overly pampered, petulant, lazy players that when they feel not feeling up to it, they bloody show you they're not feeling up to it. Each to a man, I can't look at any player on that pitch and say, you know what? You were good yesterday. You were brilliant yesterday. Fair play to you. I can't look at any player on that pitch and say that. Bring it on Ruben Amorim. Now, look, I'm not going to shout Ruben Amorim out. I'm not Ruben Amorim out. Because I won't be, because I don't think it makes any difference. I really don't. I don't think sacking Ruben Amorim would make a difference. It would not. And if you are Ruben Amorim out, that's your prerogative. That's up to you. But I'm not going to be that. That's your opinion. I'm not going to be that, because I look at the pool of managers out there, and we're going to be in the same position in a couple of years' time, in a year's time anyway. No matter what manager, whether it's your hipster manager Areola, who hasn't won in 5, or it's a Glasner who Ruben Amorim's just schooled. So we look at the substitutions. We look at the subs that Ruben Amorim keeps bringing on. Now, look, I've always believed fortune favors the brave. It's a great saying for me. It's one of my favorite sayings. Fortune, it's an old saying, but fortune favors the brave. And it does. You know, hard work leaves you in a place where luck can find you. You know what I mean? Hard work leaves you in a place where luck can find you. And this was evident during the heyday of Man United, during the 90s, during the late 90s. Man United had a lot of luck, but we made our own luck. We weren't pessimistic. We weren't cautious. We weren't afraid. to go for the jugular, to go for the game. Now, lots of people will say to me, you know what, Sal, you should have brought on Shea Lacey, he should have done this, he should have done a lot of things yesterday. I absolutely agree that when you're looking at the game and you're bringing off players, and that's fine, you could bring off players. Casemiro is on his knees, he had to come off. But when you're bringing off players, right, you got to send a message there that it's not just about preserving. It's about, we're going for the second West Ham. We're going for the third West Ham. We're going to rub your nose in it, West Ham. It's that sort of thing for me. It's that sort of thing. When you're bringing on an Ugarte and a Lito Martinez and a Lenny Yoro and all these substitutions, defensive substitutions, it sends out the wrong message. Dalot and Shaw had a good relationship on that left-hand side. And I didn't understand the logic behind doing that. I understand players that get tired. I understand that. And I understand that, Ruben Hammer has to make substitutions. He's got substitutions there to make, to use, because what's the point then having substitutions? Look, if he brought on a Shea Lacey, for example, for argument's sake, think about the mental boost that would give the team. You got a young lad coming on. People were looking at you, Shea Lacey, and they're thinking, oh, okay, this young lad is coming on. Let's see what this young lad can do. Let's see what he can do. Okay. But we went too negative. We went too cautious. And you can't do that in the Premier League. Teams could hit you. We saw the Fulham game the other night. Fulham are 5-1 down. They ended up only losing 5-4. This Premier League, it will hit you. If you're cautious in your play, teams have got talent, they can hit you. But after the first half, I think I should have envisioned what will happen in the game. It was pretty obvious that Man United might draw, even lose the game, because the amount of chances that we missed, the chances that we had, the dominance that we had in that game, it was probably one of the most dominant displays we've had in the season so far. We were just going forward. But we have to look at the game now, and we have to look at Manchester United, and we have to look at things objectively and say, like, where are we going with this? We're not going anywhere with Dalot. We're not going anywhere with Shaw. We're not going anywhere with Maguire. We're not going anywhere with Bruno. We're not going anywhere with Casemiro. None of these players we're going anywhere with. So what are we doing here? Are we looking to the future? Or are we just going to keep playing the same record over and over again? Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. What are we going to do? But guys, I know a lot of people want me to come on this channel. And I want me to be extreme in my opinions and say, look, he needs to leave the club. He's a fraud. He done this wrong. He played 5 defenders. He done this. I'm not going to do that. That's not what I do. I'm not going to do that, because I understand and I predicted when Erik ten Hag was the manager that this situation would arise again, that this problem would arise again. Yes, Ruben Amorim is partly to blame. He's not exempt from criticism. I'm not sitting there saying that. We just have the mental capacity to have an intelligent conversation about every single angle of the game. You can make mistakes. Every manager makes mistakes. Sir Alex Ferguson made mistakes. That's the way it is. That happens. Great managers do too. But of course, we look at Manchester United, we look at the manager situation, and we look at, well, you know what? You can't sack 12 players. You're going to have to sack the manager. Well, and let those players off the hook. Now, yesterday I was at a position where I felt, you know what? This isn't working out. I felt that this isn't working out. We go in the dressing room. Thank you very much, Ruben Amorim. But you know what? It's not working out. And you know what? Best of luck in your future endeavors. I felt like that. But how can we do that when these players can't pass a 2-yard ball, when Ahmad is on the wing running up and down like a headless chicken with no technical ability, can't cross either, when we got players like Bruno who are all over the pitch, ill-disciplined, and we got players that can't do the simple things. They can't do the simple things right. And this is not all on Ruben Amorim. This is not. He's the front page of the cover. He's the guy that everyone's going to look to because he's the man. He's the one we should sack. But I said it yesterday. Is he telling those players to walk on the pitch? Is he telling those players to not track back? Is he doing that? I don't think he's doing that. Let's be logic here. There's so many issues at this football club that it is multi-layered. It is multi-layered. And just changing one layer is not going to fix this football club. Changing the manager is not going to fix this football club. Now, what can we do, guys? How can we address this? How can we fix this? Do we keep Ruben Amorim? And do we carry on backing him and get rid of the players? And carry on backing him until it works? Because that's exactly what Arsenal did. Of course they did that. Arsenal did that. I know as some things were different. Of course it was different. But the only difference with Arteta, and I say this right, with a guy who's not particularly fond of Arsenal, but I respect them. Arteta had the ability to change the squad, to change the team. He wasn't stubborn. You know what I mean? As he went on, he basically didn't keep the same formation every single game. He would change it. He'd bring in that. He'd bring off Torreira. He'd bring on Maitland Niles and he'd take him off and try Saka on the left back, Saka there, put him there until it eventually worked out. The problem I'm having at the moment with this whole system, not the formation I'm talking about, but in regards to the team selection, right, is that he's not changing it. He's not changing anything. The only changes that he made are forced upon him with the injuries and stuff like that. He's not changing anything in regards to that the team personnel. We've got Kobe Mainoo on the bench, a young lad, Kobe Mainoo, who played in the Euros final a couple of years ago, guys, who was deemed a generational player, one of the best players to come out of Man United in the last 15 years. What's happened to Kobe Mainoo? Is Kobe Mainoo all of a sudden turned into a bad player? Has he turned into a bad player? Has Kobe Mainoo just suddenly down-tooled and, you know what, he's some sort of bum sitting there, you know, I don't want to play anymore and that? Where is he? He's gone missing. Every time Ugarte comes on, he's flattering to deceive. He's not good enough. Now, that happens in football. Every player that I sign for Manchester United, I want to do well. I want them to succeed at Man United every single time. I don't care who it is. I want you to succeed. I'm going to back you. But sometimes it just doesn't work out. Yeah, we can put factors in regards to this. We could say that he doesn't have a consistent run of games. He's not playing enough and stuff like that. It's true. Geniuses in hindsight is what I don't agree with. I think intelligent conversations is what we need to have here. And if you want Ruben Amorim out and you're adamant you want Ruben Amorim out, who is your choice to come into Manchester United right now? Who do you want to come to Man United? Who do you think is going to change the fortunes of Man United? Who do you think? There's not a great pool out there that you look at. There's no Ancelottis. There's no Klopps and no Peps anymore. It's not like it used to be. Every single manager will represent a risk. But again, in all fairness, some people are going to come to me, so what do? We just persist. Now, I'm going to say something, guys. Standards. People keep talking about standards here. Now, I supported Man United since the late 80s. I know about standards at Man United. These people weren't even born when I was seeing standards at Man United. So I don't want to be hearing anything about what's happened to Man United standards. You know nothing about Man United. You were born in 2012, fella. You know nothing about Man United standards. I've been watching Man United standards since the late 80s, guys. From when we weren't winning anything until becoming the best team in the world more than once. So what are we going to do here now to raise the standards, right? This is my opinion. As a guy who supported this club for nearly half a flipping century, right? What Man United need to do, they need to fully back Ruben Amorim. But not only that, they need to look at those players and say, right, Ruben, it's not working with these players. This team, it's not working. Bruno midfield, Casemiro, it's not working. How are we going to fix this? This is what it should be. This is what the conversation should be. This is what the conversation should be, in my opinion. Now, the game at the start, guys, I don't want anyone to have selective memory syndrome, because the game at the start, in the first half, the game was good. Man United should have been well ahead in the game. Man United were dominating the game. They were strong. They should have scored a few goals. I mean, obviously, as predicted before the game, as many of you guys did, Aaron Wan-Bissaka had the game of his life, and he was probably man of the match. You know what I mean? When we're looking at it. Again, every player plays against Man United, their old club, they seem to turn it on, miraculously. They seem to turn it on, and there we go, guys. Absolutely. But yeah, look, guys, disappointed overall. Tired, really, of the same old rinse and repeat. I feel like there's too many false dawns, guys. We've had so many false dawns. But none of us were coming on this channel after the Crystal Palace game and saying, we're going to win the league. Yeah, we're going to win the league. We're going to the top. We're going to win the league. None of us were saying that. We know the problems at Man United. We understand the problems at Man United. We know that this team can beat anybody. But on the flip side, they can also lose to everybody as well. That's this team. When we drop 2 points against West Ham, 3 points against Everton, just those 2 games alone, guys. 2 games at Old Trafford, right? We dropped 5 points. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. But this is something that is predictable for me, because these are the same players that have been doing it for year and year and year out. No matter who signs for this football club at the moment, there's a poison at this football club that is infectious. I've said it many times. Man United are a derelict building full of asbestos. That's what Man United are. And to fix this, you have to rip it all out. And you have to show courage to start again. Go back to basics and start again. How are we going to do this? I said it yesterday. Ruben Amorim could be the right manager at the wrong time. He could be. Is he the... But then again, now you look at it and you think, okay, they brought in this manager, they brought in this hipster manager, this manager with a distinctive style of play, and they haven't backed him to the levels that they have to back him, right? But his in-game management, the second half substitutions, you've got to be brave, Ruben. You've got to be brave. You can't just be self-preservation. You can't be, let's sit back and rest on our laurels and let's just wait until, with the full-time whistle, because you know what these teams do. They bombard you. They hit that ball in the box. The ball is round. It can go anywhere. They would do everything to equalize. 1-0 is a dangerous score. And when we had the team that we had in the first half, we were under no threat from West Ham. It was when we brought on those substitutions that we started to see, we started to sit back and West Ham started to give us a little bit more pressure. Guys, thank you, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Hope everyone is blessed, of course, guys. Hope everyone is blessed. Hope everyone is good, of course, guys. Absolutely. Good to see everyone in the house. Let me just say hello to the members, of course, guys. Let me just get this up. Big up, Benny. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Didn't get to watch the game last night. Had an appointment in Dublin yesterday and got home late. But listened to you guys on the way home. Poor result, but just watched the highlights. It was a poor result. But again, we do it to ourselves, Benny. We do it to ourselves. We should have been well clear in that first half. Man United should have won that game comfortably. But here we are again. And this is the video that I posted yesterday. The video that I posted yesterday, Man United over the last 10 years have been given opportunities and we don't take the opportunity given to us. This isn't just Ruben Amorim. This is through managers of the past. Again and again, we did the same thing, rinse and repeat. We're given an opportunity and we don't take that bloody opportunity. We never take it. Even under Eric Ten Hag, whether it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Jose Mourinho, we're like, oh, what? We're 3 points from the Champions League positions. Well, no, we'll leave that. What is wrong with these players? Their mentality is not there. They ain't got the mentality. That's why they can play in front of an empty stadium at Old Trafford and they can do very well and break records because they got no mentality. They can't play in front of a crowd. Maybe that gets to them. This is and people are going to tell me, oh, but Sal, this is a different team. No. You are a representation of what the culture of the football club is. The culture of the football club is this, and you are replicating that culture. This is why whenever a new player comes in, they do well, they start well, we're excited, and then suddenly you see the same old habits that happen. You start seeing him Bremo start going like this, start declining and stuff, and oh, he's getting into that little mode now where, he's getting into that era where he's starting to duplicate the players that have been there before him and down tool, all the great players that are signed for Man United and down tool and start becoming like them. We've had great players signed for this Man United team. Jadon Sancho, Paul Pogba, Ibrahimovic, Cristiano Ronaldo, Falcao, Schweinsteiger. We've had the world-class players, the players that are proven to win. But every time they sign for this football club, they can't do it. There's something there that they just can't do. And then whenever we're given an opportunity to actually capitalize on other teams' mishaps and slip-ups, we can't capitalize. We foul. Now, deep down, that's the last night I was thinking to myself, you know what? We're going to bottle this. And I didn't want to believe that, but I was just thinking, when the game was going on, I was just thinking, you know what? We're going to bottle this. I think we're going to bottle this. You know what I mean? Benny, we definitely had our fair chance. We definitely had enough chances with some more quality. We win the game easily, absolutely. Again, down to decision making on the pitch. We really lack quality. Can understand taking off Cunha only back from injury. Cunha didn't have an injury though, Benny. He had a headache. It's a difference, you know what I mean? He was fit, but I don't think Cunha was the problem. I don't think Cunha had that much of a bad game. At the end of the day, when he was on the pitch, Man United preserved the ball. When Cunha was on the pitch, Man United kept the ball better, and Man United pressed up the ball. Because Cunha's the sort of guy who can get that ball, who can turn, and could take that ball away from the danger area. That's what Cunha could do. That's why I wouldn't have taken off Cunha. Cunha is match fit. He's just had a headache. You know what I mean? He's not had a thigh strain. He's not had a knee injury. He's had a headache. He's just a little bit of caution there. He was left at the last game precautionary because of the head injury. But I would have kept him on, Benny. I would have kept him on because he's the only player that can get that ball, that can move that ball forward, take the ball forward, and take it at the danger area, if you know what I mean. The substitutions are wrong. We have to hold that with Ruben Amorim. He went too negative. He went too cautious, and we have to understand that. Saviour, good morning. How you doing? Big up, Benny. Saviour, good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning to you. We played well yesterday, but the substitutions of Ugarte and Dorgu didn't work. The coach should have brought in Mainu and not Ugarte. I hope in January we'll sign a midfielder left wing. I agree with you, Saviour. Look, you know what? I would also say that hindsight is a beautiful thing. We all geniuses in hindsight, isn't it? If only we knew, because many of us guys, and I'm going to be honest with you, whilst the game was going on, just like the game against Everton and just like the game against Forest and Tottenham, each one of us to a man agreed, yeah, those are the substitutions we should be doing. Yeah, I think he's right with that. But one thing you say there, Man United on that left-hand side there with Luke Shaw and Dorgu and Diego Dalot, we were kind of settled there. We had a relationship on that left-hand side with Luke Shaw and Diego Dalot. I don't think Man United should have changed that. I felt it was unnecessary bringing on Dorgu. I felt that. I didn't think we should do that. We're playing one game a week, right? Well, in this case, playing 2 this week, but you know what I mean. We're playing one game a week and, play the team until the end. The key for me was this, right? He did it so early in the game, 15, 20 minutes before the end of the game. These changes, if you're going to make these changes, are changes you make when there's 5 minutes to go, a few minutes to go, right? You're 1-0 up and you just want to hold on to the lead because you know what, we can't risk getting another goal now because they might score on the other end. So what we needed to do, we needed to wait until about 5 minutes to go, then bring on those substitutions. And what other substitutions you want to bring on fresh legs to help defend the lead. When I was looking at Xerxes, I know Xerxes didn't have the best game, but what I noticed about Xerxes is Xerxes very good at defending in the box. He could defend, he could chest it down, he could bring the ball out, he helps the defense, and he holds up the ball well. That's what Xerxes does. We took off everyone who can hold up the ball. So we had no outlet to take the game away from our penalty box. Right? When you take off Cunha, you're taking away our outlet that can get that ball and move that ball forward away from the danger area. And I think this is where Man United and Ruben Amorim went wrong in the game. He's a young manager. He will learn that. This is the Premier League. You can't be just resting on your laurels. All right, I'm gonna, you know what, defend this lead with 20 minutes to go. No. You can defend leads with 5 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go around that area there. Because you know what? When it's 1-0, it's a very dangerous scoreline. They could score 1-1. You know that. So, yeah, if it was a few minutes to go, I would totally understand him making the substitutions, keeping it tight, getting a little few legs. But I just feel like at the moment, as with evidence, these players that are coming onto the pitch, your Ugates, your Dorgus, they're not making a positive impact at the moment. Dorgu's young, he will, but it's very difficult to bring these players into this team. The intensity on the pitch already. These players don't seem to be training on the touchline. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're not preparing themselves effectively on the touchline. You correct me if I'm wrong, but it just seems that way. Do you know what I mean? Good morning, Sam. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Big up. Dave, why did Amorim bring on Ugarte instead of Manu? Why focus on subbing defenders against a dross West Ham? Another very worrying thing is I don't think we'll get to see the academy players this time. One thing about the academy, he's not going to play the academy. And I spoke about this yesterday. One of the main reasons is exactly what happened yesterday, the toxicity that you bring the players into. I mean, we have this infatuation with the Busby Babes and obviously the Class of 92. When they were brought in with a team full of winners, this team is not full of winners. And it's a big difference there. The only change I would have done was Shea Lacey, which is one player that I would have brought on, which might have boosted the team a little bit. You know, that's why I would have done more of a positive change. Mainu's not a CDM. He's number 8. So you're going to bring off Casemiro to put on Mainu to leave yourself open in the midfield with Bruno. You know, we have to think logically here and we have to think objectively and intelligently and educated. You know, this is what we have to do. You know, you could bring off Bruno and you could bring on Mainu, but you can't bring off Casemiro and bring on Mainu because that is just going gun-ho. That's leaving your midfield wide open. Mainu's not a CDM. He's a number 8, traditionally a number 8. He will leave the pitch wide open. Absolutely. Very intelligent opinion, APM. Not as usual. Amorim keep blaming the players, but to be Amorim among the problem we have, what kind of chances is that Dalot and Xerxes was playing well? He would decided to sub them both off them. At the end of the day, like I said, hindsight is a beautiful thing. We should have won the game in the first half, and that's what should happen. That's down to the players. Man United missed up-teen amounts of chances to go 2-0 up, 3-0 up. And that's down to the players. And what happens when you don't take your chances, you get a slap on your face. That's what happens in this game, in the Premier League. And that's what happened. The substitutions were wrong. The substitutions were negative. He's made that mistake. It was a mistake. He made that mistake. He went too cautious. And he shouldn't have done that, to be honest with you. And he should have went more positive. As I said earlier, bring on a Shea Lacey. Add a bit of... how would I say, a bit of a boost to the team. Look at this new player coming on, Shea Lacey, all to prove. That sort of thing would have boosted you rather than going, right, we're going to preserve this lead. We're cautious. We're going to be careful, almost cowardly. And we can't be cowards in this game. And like I said at the top of the show, guys, fortune favors the brave. Fortune favors the brave. That is what the key is here. You have to be brave. Attack is the best form of defense. Stop thinking defensive-minded and think about how am I going to finish this game? How am I going to finish off West Ham here? Stop thinking about how am I going to stop West Ham from scoring? Because that's what we're doing. How am I going to stop West Ham from scoring? How can I stop them? You know, this is the problem. Good morning, Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Hope everything is blessed with you. Good to see you. Good to see you again, my guy, of course. Bremo wasn't in the match yesterday. He could have changed, and Bremo was Mainu. He didn't. Instead, he made the wrong changes. Again, we're talking about. We know we made the wrong change. No shit, Sherlock Sam. You know, we know we made the wrong changes defensively. Bringing on in Bremo for Mainu, and Mainu's not number 10 either. I mean, come on, man. You know, at the end of the day, Mainu is a number 8, right? And that's what we have to do. You could say bring on Shea Lacey, yeah, for Bremo. We could have done that, but obviously that would represent a risk with the young player and stuff like that. We could do that. But playing Mainu as a number 10, why? When he doesn't play there. And he didn't play there in his whole career in academy. That's the thing. You know what I mean? We're just making up positions for players which don't exist. You know what I mean? Dave, yesterday it was on the players and the manager, yes. The players should be more clinical against a very dross West Ham. The managers, in-game manager and subs was already on the pitch. Yeah, look, again, I mean, everything was good until the substitutions. Everything was acceptable until the substitutions. The second half performance, again, was poor. The second half performance was dross. The first half performance, Man United need to be clinical, as you said. Man United need to score. We could have scored 2 or 3 goals in the first half, honestly. The amount of chances that we missed. We had balls cleared off the line, everything. It was just ridiculous, you know, and we need to be more clinical. And people talk about Sesko, how Sesko's not good enough. This is a prime example how important Sesko is to this team, how important he is, because he's the only outlet up front who can hold out the ball, have a little bit of physicality, score chances, get on the end of crosses and stuff. At the moment, we're sending the crosses in and we're not getting in the end of the crosses. You know what I mean? Sal, people do not want to listen to Bruno is the biggest problem in the team. Bruno's a massive problem in the team, yeah. I've been saying, I sound like a broken record there for him when I talk about Bruno because I know that Bruno's not a number 8. He's not a number 8. Bruno should be further up the pitch. Bruno should be number 10 and Mainu should be the number 8. We probably would have won the game if we played that yesterday. I honestly think the way West Ham were, we would have been more in control in that midfield. And you know what? We probably would have won the game. You know? Good morning, Sanjay. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up, everyone. Benny, the way I feel this morning is like this, Sal. Either back him or sack him because United are doomed until all these players of old are cleared out. Absolutely. And someone is giving a rein, clear the mess. This is the thing, Benny, isn't it? This is the double-edged sword that Man United are going to have at the moment. Is like when we sack him, yeah, okay, then we're going to have the same players that are there, that have been there for some of them since Louis van Gaal, for crying out loud. What's going to happen? Oh, we're going to get Marcus Rashford coming back to the club. We're going to get Onana coming back to the club in the summer. And everything's going to be hunky-dory and everyone's all friends again. This is exactly the problem that we have at the football club. This is what's going to happen at the football club. You know, they're going to be back at the football club. This is what we're talking about here. You know what I mean? And if we have a new manager, he's going to be like, oh, maybe I can work with those players. Maybe they might play for me, even though they haven't played for 15 years. I said it many times, Benny. I said it many times that, you know, if I was Ruben Amorim, when I walked into that club, I would have said, okay, can I have a list of the players that we have and list it by how long they've been at the football club. So number 1 would be the player who's been there the longest, number 2, the second, third, etc. And all those players, probably the top 5 of those players, I said, right, those players there, I don't care who they are, I want them out the door because they've been there flattering to deceive for years and years and years, and they've got serial failures. Serial failures. That's what I would have done. But we turn them into leaders. We make a leadership group of players that are leaders in losing. It's like a sheep leading the wolves. You know, it's just like, I don't understand it. You know, I really don't. Dave, for people that keep glazing on Bruno like a donut, I think at this point they fancy Bruno because what they are, these guys seeing in him in which they think everyone is blind. No. Bruno, Dave, in an objective, intelligent conversation about Bruno's a number 10, right? But at the same time, whether he's a number 10 or number 8, whatever he is, he's finished. He's off his knees. He's on his knees now. We need to think about drifting Bruno out of the team. And this is a very awkward conversation that some of these player FC personnel do not want. They do not want this intelligent conversation. It's like talking about Ruben Amorim and the problems at this football club. They do not want an intelligent conversation about the problems, about changing the manager, how it's not going to change anything if we do not fix the problems at the football club, in the team, the culture at the football club, the context surrounding the football club. People don't want to have that conversation because they're very one-dimensional in, I just want this and this is mine. He's my favorite player. He's not a problem. The rest of them are the problem. The manager's the problem. Bruno is a problem in that midfield. We do not control the midfield because Bruno is in that midfield. We cannot control the midfield. He's ill-disciplined in that position. He's ill-disciplined in the number 10 position. He's specialist position, let alone the midfield position. You know what I mean? Donin, good morning. Said it before, which Amorim on the touchline, no passion, poor body language. It transmits to the players' intensity. Yes, all we want owners, but we can also find a manager with more Premier League experience. There's nothing to do with his intensity. His intensity is very, I don't know if you've ever been to Old Trafford, mate, and seen Ruben Amorim. I have. He is very intense, mate. He's very intense. He's bombing up and down all the time. Ain't you seen Ruben Amorim on the touchline? He's non-stop. It's nothing to do with his intensity. We had a 4 out of 10 window. We had a 4 out of 10 window. That is what the problem is. And this was something that I predicted at the beginning of the season. Mark, big up Sal, big up yourself. Hope you're well. Good to see you, bud. Hope you were good. I'm so sick of the team, club, and I've given up wasting my sleep watching these games. Big up, Mark. I mean, I'm fed up as well. Glazers out. Big up yourself. At least you have the right name in there and blaming the right people. Well done, my friend. You know what I would say? Yes. Look, I'm tired. I'm disillusioned. Disillusioned. I feel let down. I go on various channels and I talk about Man United, and I talk about Man United with chest, with pride. I talk about Man United like that. I don't talk about Man United pessimistically, right? Especially on other channels. I like to talk about Man United with pride, who we are. You know what I mean? But they let me down. They embarrassed me every single time. They seem to embarrass me. They seem to, down tool and get on my nerves. You know what I mean? These players. Big up Sniper Man, hope you're well. Moses, good morning, Sal. I know the team is at fault, but I bet if you some of this guy were to play for Pep, I bet they won't smell the team for a month. Amorim lost his ruthlessness. You have to understand, Moses, who else we got. Look at the squad. Our squad is crap, mate. We have to understand where the problem lies, and this is something that I keep bringing in. There is a multi-layered problem here, Moses, mate. There's a multi-layered problem. The multi-layered problem is obviously Ruben Amorim, the players, the board, Ineos. These are the multi-layered problems. Man United are absolutely effed. From top to bottom, there's problems left, right, and centre. Sack the manager. Like I said, sacking the manager's like just changing the furniture in a derelict building that has asbestos everywhere. That is what it's like sacking the manager. Because but what we need to do is knock the entire thing down and rebuild the entire thing. That's what Man United actually do. That's what a rebuild is. That's what an overhaul is, which we haven't had yet. This is what we need. This is what we need, but we're not doing that. Whether you get rid of the manager in the process, so be it. If it contributes to Man United being successful, do it. But sacking the manager only, which the one-dimensional people only think about, is not going to change anything. You bring on Areola, bring on Glasner, you bring anyone you want to bring into it. We will be here in a year's time. I guarantee you, just like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, just like I said with Erik ten Hag, we will be here in a year's time, and I haven't been proven wrong so far. We've lost 1 game in 7, right? It's not the end of the world. But the fact is, right, is that we're drawing games we should win. We're drawing games we should win. We're playing survival football. It's not sustainable, right? But we're not losing games now. Slowly, things are starting to improve. Slowly. We're not losing now. But now we need to learn how to be clinical. We need to learn how to put that ball in the back of the net. Dave, another very honest question. Is United as a football club able to get top 4 and if it will qualify for you? I'll be honest, Dave. These players don't deserve top 4, mate. Unless, because I know more than anything that if these players get top 4, they're going to get another chance next season. They're going to get another chance next season. They're going to have another chance to down tool. You know? In the first half, guys, and let me remind you, the players didn't win that game. The players didn't win that game because we had chance after chance after chance to score some goals and we weren't clinical. That's the players. That's not Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim doesn't play up front. Right? We had chance after chance after chance, wrong choice after wrong choice after wrong choice. Absolutely. Ephraim, spot on, Sal. There is no intensity. They do not kill the games. I will not be surprised with some of these players. And guys, I don't really listen to people who don't want to mention the multi-layered problems at the football club. So we're getting into a period now, right, where Ruben Amorim can't make any changes because every single change he makes is wrong. How about the players are tired and the players need to come off? What, he can't make changes now? This is an Ineos problem. They're the ones who supplied him with this dross. They're the ones who didn't give him a proper window. This is the thing. This is what people should be coming at. This is exactly what we don't have a quality squad. When the players come on, they're not of a certain quality. Bruno's not his. Casemiro's not his. Euro's not his. Heaven's not his. Delict is not his. Ahmad is not his. Mount is not his. Xerxes is not his. Should we go on, guys? No, this is what we're talking about. He needs his own bloody team. Not exempting him from criticism, but we should have won that game in the first half. If we had an element of quality and ruthlessness, not just the manager, but the players need to be ruthless, then maybe we might actually, won the game yesterday. It's a collective. Benny, Dave, great. Yeah, big up, big up. But Irfan, what do you want him to do, mate? What do you want him to do with the squad? Just keep it as it is and let the players play again and again and again and again. Come on, man. Football intelligence. Let them play again and again and again and not make any substitutions. Blame that on Ineos. Why we have to shoehorn players into certain position. Play this formation. Do that. Bring on this player. Do that. The only thing I disagree with is defensive changes. Got to be a bit more brave. But those players out there should have won that game yesterday. Big up, William. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Amon can't sustain one game. He's been gifted with other teams failing all around us. I have zero faith that he can manage multiple games a week. I have zero faith that these players can handle. Look, you got Glazers out on your Abbey, mate. I've got zero faith in those players, mate. Number one. Zero faith in those players that have been flattering to see for 15 years, almost. Sacking a manager will not change the club, but would improve results on the pitch temporarily, mate. And we'll be here in 1 year's time because a lot of you are not mentioning the Glazers. A lot of you are not mentioning Ineos. A lot of you don't really understand it. You don't understand the cultural problem that anyone who walks into football club. Look at Bremo. Look at Bremo. Start like a house on fire and then boom. Sam, this is the curse. Exactly. This is the curse of the new player coming into Man United. The cultural problems at Man United, that resonates down. We need to have a conversation about which is intelligent. All I'm seeing here is manager. I'm not seeing the full picture here. I'm not having an intelligent conversation here. You know what I mean? I'm always seeing this, manager that, changes this, changes that. What about the first half when those players should be held accountable? What about that? When they didn't put the ball in the net. What about not being able to pass a 2-yard ball? What about that? Is that Ruben Amorim? Not being able to cross a ball and hitting the first man every time. Is that Ruben Amorim? Dave, the Wolves game is now more than ever looking like another banana skin. We are supposed they haven't won. They've only got scored. I think they can't score, can they? 9 points is West Ham, Wolves and Bournemouth. It must win, Dave. Must win. Sal, how this called donors did not buy a midfield and expect miracle from the manager and ever the manager is you unless I mean exactly, Ephraim, but people don't want to look at that. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Moses, it's better to play with under 21 knowing they will get 100% and lose than to see this bullshit over and over again. Fans are getting tired and already the experience of being bullshit. Dave, if we don't sign players in January, then Amram and Ineos should just mutually go their separate ways. I said this at the beginning of the season, Dave, that, you know what, Ruben Amram should just walk. Ruben Amram should walk. I said this at the beginning of the season because if he's not going to get back fully with the players that fit his tactics and his system, he should just walk. It's not working. I said it yesterday. It's nothing about bringing in Ruben Amram. If you're going to bring a manager like Ruben Amram, bring him in, but back him with the players that he needs. Because at the end of the day, you can't play certain players as a wing back if they're not a wing back. You can't play certain players as number 10 if they're not a number 10. You need to bring him in to play every single player that fits the system, if you know what I mean. Sovereign, good morning. The substitutions were atrocious. He went defensive too early. I don't get the Xerxes. I don't get that either. That's where the problem was. But let's not forget, guys. Bruno mainly should have came in for Bruno, yes. Let's not forget, though, these players should have won the game in the first half. Ruben Amram was wrong in the second half, and he's done it time and time again. He's made the wrong substitution. That doesn't mean we sack him. Right. But obviously, this is a results game, and people are going to be on his back now, and people are going to be saying, oh, he needs to go, he needs to be sacked. We're 1 loss in 7. We're not losing games. Right. In a league that anyone can beat anyone, Chelsea lost to Leeds 3-1. Right. This is what it is at the end of the day. We need to think about things multi-layered, and that's what intelligent people do. Bruno was horrible, Retrograde. Big up, Retrograde. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed, of course. Amram isn't learning from his defensive subs how many points we have dropped from winning positions. Barry, I agree with this. But as a young manager, Barry, and I said it earlier in the show, mate. I said it earlier in the show. Ruben Amram is the right manager at the wrong time. And I said it yesterday. I think we're learning to run before we can walk. And I think that the simple parts of the game, what Man United should have done, Man United should have looked at the squad and thought, okay, you need to go, rip it all out and see what we're left with. Sort of build the foundations first before we bring in a manager like Ruben Amram with a distinctive style of play, with a hipster style of play. Maybe we should have done that first. Maybe we should have ripped out everything and played, and thought about the foundations first. How do we want to play? How do we want to play first? Do we want to play a 3 at the back? Do we want wing backs? Do we want a 4-3-3? Do we want a 4-4-2? Do we want a 4-2-3-1? What do we want? How do we want to play? And when we get this way we want to play, we should have this thing in our head from the youth downwards in regards to we're going to play this way all the way down from the under 10s all the way up to the senior team. And that is how we should do it. We should build a foundation of how we want to play. This is how we can play. So whenever Man United go on over the years, we can just grab a player from the youth and they slot right into the team in the formation that we have. At the moment, we got a team that are primarily 4-3-3 based, 4-5-1, 4-2-3-1 based. And we're saying, all right, play this formation, this new dynamic formation that you've never played. Play this, without backing him with the players to play that. And that's when you look at things and you look at things from a collective, Darren, you watch Wolves have their best game this season. Darren, this is going to happen. Look, we have to expect this, Darren, that every single team that plays against Manchester United are going to have their best game. I said it yesterday, Darren, that watch out for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's going to play like prime Carfu tomorrow. And that's what happened yesterday. You know, and this is what we're saying. Like, this is exactly, we have, as Man United, this is nothing new to Man United. We've had this in the past. Teams raise their game. It's the final for them. This is what it is. But guys, I want you to understand this. I'm talking about things on a multi-layered level. There's a lot of people just blame one person. I'm not entertaining that. Because we need to think about the window, Ineos, the Glazers, the players, the manager, everything, the medical team, everything that surrounds this club that is contributed to Man United being where we are right now. Unable to capitalize. Every single time, unable to capitalize. It's predictable. It's so predictable. We just cannot capitalize on other teams. Dan, what's going on, my friend? Morning, Sal. We did it again. This is still more players not Amram out. One thing though, the squad rotation is questionable and frustrating. And this is an intelligent conversation, Dan, that we're having. We started the game like a house on fire. We dominated the game. We were in their half. We had one player in our half. We were dominating the game, relentless, going forward. But in the second half, as usual, like Switch FC, this team decide to switch it off. And that's where we're going. Now, guys, I would love us, listen, I don't care anymore about who's sacked, who's this, who's that. I don't really care. I know that I will be here, just like I said with Ruben Aram, to a lot of you people in this chat, a lot of you guys in this chat, I did say it when Eric Ten Hag was there, this would happen. And here we are. And people won't admit that, but this is what we are. Here we are. Name me a manager that's going to come into Man United right now with all the problems and the players there and suddenly make us into world beaters with these players. Please. We're talking about in-game management. But we've got one attacking player on the bench and his name is Shea Lacey and he's a kid. Why is that? Why is that? Why do we have one attacking outlet? I won't cast Mason Mount. Mason Mount came on anyway, but why have we got one attacking out? Because we weren't backed in the bloody window. It was a 4 out of 10 window. We got no backup striker. We ain't got no proper number 9, on the bench. Nothing. So this is why he tries to rotate different players here and there. But sometimes it's best just to leave it. Leave it. Let it be. Just let it be because it's not going to improve. We've seen it already that it's not going to improve. Big up, mate. Big up. We ain't got no strikers again, Sam. Who are we going to bring on as an attacker? Shea Lacey's the only one. Mason Mount, he doesn't rate for some reason. Something's happened there. But I've already told you about Mason Mount, about Kobe Mainoo, what happened behind the scenes, but I'm not going to bring that in. They better than us. Speed, intensity, and aggressive for us. So we are slow, lazy, can't control games. They have no confidence in what they do. They never have, mate. They never have, of course. Ephraim, Sal, I do not think Amram fancy Mainoo. They have to back him in January. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Big up. Big up, Lawrence. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Lawrence, if there's a mess again, if we beat Wolves, we can still scrape Europa. I don't trust these players, Lawrence. I don't trust it. Do we, honestly, do we deserve European football? And we have to be honest with ourselves. Do we deserve European football? We can't even capitalize on what we have. Everyone at that football club, every manager, players, board, everything. We don't know how to capitalize. We don't have the winning mentality here at the moment at this football club, sadly. Big up, Ellen. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Casemiro was cleaning up and had a AK match, but don't know why many of you are watching. Casemiro was heaving after 60 minutes. That's why he had to come off, by the way, guys. Not many people know that, but that's why Ugarte came on. Ugarte came on because Casemiro was heaving. He was out of breath. Absolutely. Ellen, all of our players should be able to beat this weak West Ham team. Absolutely. Blame him who you want, but I can't see it's his fault. We let in a late corner. These players, look, Ellen, we don't deal with absolutes here. It's not Ruben Amorim is completely exempt from blame. He can't be blamed for anything. It's these players. No, it's not. It's a collective. It's multi-layered. I'm not going to flip-flop from that. I'm not going to flip-flop. What he should do, and this is what I would have done. If I was manager of Man United, I'll never go defensive. Attack is the best form of defense. He went cautious. And he done that wrong. And we have to hold that. He done that wrong. These players should beat West Ham. Of course they should. But maybe we're overhyping them. Maybe we're overhyping some of those players right there. Maybe Bruno's overhyped. Casemiro's overhyped. They're all overhyped. Maybe they're overhyped. They're just not good enough because past evidence suggests they can't beat Everton with 10 men. Against 10 men. You know, maybe we need to look at that. We can't just exempt Ruben Amorim from blame. We can put blame on Ruben Amorim because at the end of the day, he made the changes. I understand the Casemiro one. Casemiro is heaving, which is why Ugarte came on. Mainu can't come on for Casemiro. Mainu's not a CDM. Mainu's not a number 6. It will be Bagel FC 2.0 if we did that. Right? So this is why Ugarte comes on for Casemiro. Right? That's why. Because Casemiro was off. He was heaving. That's why. Right? The changes that I wouldn't have made was the Dorgu change and the Luke Shaw change. Because I felt there was some relationship going on there on that side of the pitch. I felt there was a relationship going on that side of the pitch. You're right. Taking off Xerxes was taking our outlet and only player who could attack any longer. It's about, Mark, it's about holding up the ball, keeping the ball, holding up the ball. There are two players that could do that on that pitch. One was Cunha, the other one was Xerxes. We took both of them off. And that I disagree with. I disagree with that. He took those two players off and we lost control. Xerxes, I don't know if you saw Xerxes, but Xerxes was doing defensive work. He was in the Man United, he was defending Man United corners and things like that. Maybe if we had Xerxes on the pitch, we might have not conceded that goal. Do you know what I mean? And this is what we're talking about. It's the PTSD, honest to God. I can't remember when the subs made up, because we ain't got quality, Darren. It's simple as that. We have to hold it and face the reality that our squad is one of the worst squads in the Premier League, in my opinion. I hype our players. We hype our players to a pedestal. How many teams would Ahmed get in? Let's be realistic in the Premier League. How many teams? How many teams? But we're rating him like this genius. Eric Cantona. That's how we're talking about Ahmed. But I'm not scapegoating him. I'm just saying that how many teams in the Premier League would he get into right now? You know what I mean? And we have to have this serious conversation about that. You know? We have time, yeah. You know what? I wouldn't even disagree with that, Samuel. Maybe we should just play the youth. Maybe we should just go into the youth system and just do that. Maybe we should do that, mate. Absolutely. Bruno should join Bayern Munich. I agree with Samuel there again. Absolutely. Wait. Lo and behold, Dalot did something useful. Look, Dalot wasn't a problem yesterday. I actually feel like Dalot did all right yesterday. I didn't think he was atrocious. I thought he was good. And this is the thing. This is why I wouldn't have subbed Dalot yesterday. The time I say they don't sub Dalot is the time I know Dalot was working in the team. He was working. Things were going well. You know what I mean? And he was working on that left-hand side with Luke Shaw. And I felt like, why did we change that? It might have not made a difference. Of course, it might not. We conceded from a corner. That can happen. We might have won the game 1-0 without that corner. Do you know what I mean? And then everyone's singing from a different industry. That's how fickle football is. But I just wouldn't have changed that side of the pitch with Dalot. I thought Dalot had a decent game. The players are confused because they have a low IQ. Big up Jason, by the way. The players are confused because they have a low IQ, mate. And they've been confused under Eric Ten Hag as well and other managers in the past. They've just not got the IQ. They've just not got the brain, to be honest, to play, how would I say it? Expansive football. Football that could... You need half an IQ. Cash, big up, my friend. If Bruno and Cunha can miss open goals and then Bremo can't dribble past one player, this team is collectively below average. And I'm done with the constant manager run. These are not United players. I think some of them are, but you can count on probably 3 fingers, right? How many of them are Man United players? Now, this is what I always talk about, because I come from a generation, Cash, where I've seen great players at this football club, right? Like I said yesterday, when you look at players and you look at things subjectively, all right, let's look at Ahmad. Like I said, let's look at Ahmad. Is Ahmad as good as Lee Sharp? No. Is Ahmad as good as Nani? No. Is Ahmad as good as Andre Kanchelskis? No. Is Ahmad as good as Beckham? No. Right? We could go on, guys. We could go on. It'd be argued, is Ahmad as good as Luke Chadwick? It could be argued. Then we could do this with every single player in our team. We can go throughout the history of Man United, all the great teams at Man United, and ask ourselves, are these players good enough? Are they good enough to take Man United forward? Absolutely. Big up, Garrett. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope I bless you, my friend. Hope you're doing good. Hope everything is blessed with you. Good to see you. Players look clueless because they're clueless, mate. Low IQ, mate. Low IQ. Big up, Mr. Reneso. Most rational man in United YouTube world. Thank you so much, my brother. Big up, Reneso. How you doing, mate? Mate, I will be honest with you guys, and I'll say it with chest. I would have a gun to my head, right? And I would tell you guys, a new manager will come in with your 4-3-3 system, with your 4-2-3-1 system. We'll be back here. I'll see you. I'll see you in a year's time, where we will be back where we are here now, right now, talking that same smack. You know what I mean? And this is what we're talking about. You could blame the manager, absolutely. But I want people to test me mentally. Test me mentally. Don't just go on the manager, because it's simple to do that. It's a simpleton thing. We know he made substitutions that were wrong. We know that. But what about the other aspects of the game? What about the characteristics of these players? What about the 4 out of 10 window from Ineos? Why don't we bring that into there? Because people don't want to do that. People don't, because they have the manager is the front page of the cover. He's the guy. We attack him, and that's all we do. Sal, I agree with you. Another manager won't change a thing. Players first. Agreed. Agreed. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. You can cry about Ruben Amorim all you want, but he's not going to go anywhere. They're going to keep until the end of the season. Right? And the thing is that we just have to support what we have. The key is let Ruben Amorim build his team. Right? Let him build his team, and he will learn. Don't worry about that. He's made mistakes. He's made mistakes. We can see it from a corner yesterday. He's made mistakes. He can't lose any more games. We got Wolves on Monday, Tuesday, but we can't. That now becomes like a must-win now. That becomes a must-win now. This Wolves game, because Wolves are absolutely atrocious. But then we got Bournemouth, who over the last couple of years, we haven't done very well against. We lost 3-0 a couple of times against Bournemouth. So, you know what? Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Guys, look, we're getting into the territory where now we have to start winning games if we have aspirations to be in the Champions League and stuff like that, you know? Big up, Faisal. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Garrett, Sal, this manager was the best in the Champions League for Sporting is good. Yeah, Man United are the problem. They are. Until people realize this, we'll be in the same position again and again and again. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Man United are the problem. You see, this is why I don't talk to Mandem. This is not the Mandem channel. This is why we don't have Mandem talk. It's because it's very, very focused on one thing, but not focused on the multi-layered situation that we have at this football club. That, you know what, if you had your own business, which these guys don't really have a real business, you would understand multi-layered problems. You know, and we have multi-layered problems that resonate throughout the football club. Throughout the football club. You know, and This is why we needed a full Sal, why we needed the Glazers out. This is why we needed that, because obviously we needed a complete football club ripped out. We can't even get rid of Luke Shaw. We can't even get rid of Luke Shaw. We can't pay off his contract. He's on too much money. We can't get rid of him. Dan, big up Dan. I think if Amaram subs Bruno, I would like to see who's hands down the captain. Armband too. It would show he has more than one leader. We know, Dan, by looking at things, that who could be the captain. I think that Licha Martinez is a very good captain. I think De Ligt is a very good captain potentially. Obviously, Casemiro has been captain as well. I actually think Senny Lamens has got potential and Cunha have. But that's down to a minute. We don't see it though, do we? We don't see the substitution. We don't see the captaincy debate, do we? The only difference is, Yale, Wolves have to come at us. That's the difference. Wolves have to come at us. Wolves are going to attack us because they need 3 points. They're going to get relegated. So they will believe that they can, just like the Crystal Palace game where Crystal Palace had to come at us. I think Wolves will have to come at us, of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Stephen. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. Good to see you. Big up, Choco. What's going on, my friend? Until the old guard are gone, we will never know if Ruben is the man. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Thank you. How do you know? How do I know how I look in a suit if I never wear a suit? You know what I mean? It's just exactly the same thing. We got the same players there from 10 years ago. Bloody hell, I'm dropping my mic. We got the same players there from 10 years ago. 10, 12 years ago. You know what I mean? Dallo, Shaw, Cass, Bruno, Maguire, they all know about losing, revamp needed, or it's just Groundhog Day again and again. Choco, absolutely brilliant comment, my friend. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. On that note, guys, move on. We move on now to the Wolves game. Thank you, everyone who support the channel. Guys, I want to say thank you to everyone who tuned into the Football Terrace yesterday. I was on the Football Terrace yesterday. Check out that panel yesterday, guys, on the Football Terrace, guys. Really appreciate everyone who joined in with that, guys, and supported me on Terry's channel. Back on Terry's channel, first time in years. I was on Terry's channel yesterday, guys, and thank you for joining me. Thank you for your comments and thank you for your support, guys. We'll keep progressing, and you know what, guys? All we can do at the moment is move on. That's life. That's football. The great thing about football is that you can make it better. You can make it better, and Monday's the game. But we're running out of games now, I think. And as with every game we don't win, the more pressure happens, of course. Avril from Singapore. Hi, Sal. Greetings from Singapore. Big up. Watched the game at 4 a.m. and utterly disappointed with the result and performance. Went to work really pissed off, but we move on. Big up, Avril. Love it. Absolutely. Exactly what I'm saying, my friend. Exactly. Revert7, good morning. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. We have no leaders. We have a squad of better boys who crumble under the Old Trafford lights. Thank you, brother. There you go. Thank you very much. Love it. Multi-layered. That's what it is. Not just manager, subs. No shit, Sherlock. At the end of the day, if he's not backed, we're going to continue like this, guys. I'm very worried about the AFCON, I'll be honest, guys. The AFCON is coming, you know, and we're going to miss Ahmad, Mbuemo, and Mazraoui. Doesn't rain, it pours, isn't it, guys? It doesn't rain, it pours in the world of Manchester United. Guys, you're all vet legends. Sorry, I can't read out every comment, guys. I'm getting a sore throat. I've been screaming for an hour now, over an hour. So thank you, guys, for joining me. Guys, please, can I ask a favor? A lot of you come onto the channel. Don't smash a like. Please, could you smash a like, guys? Get those likes up to 50 likes if we could do that. And support the channel. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you to the members, as usual, who come in every single day and support the channel. Big up the members, of course, Daryl, Benny, and all you great people, of course, guys. And guys, look, you know what? ultimately, one thing I want to stress to everyone here is that we are all on the same boat, right? We're all on the same boat. It's not I'm right, you're wrong. I know better than you. I know better than you. It's all about success for Manchester United. That is all it's all about, guys. Take it easy, guys. Enjoy your Friday regardless. I'm Sal Warner, and this is Breaking Dawn. See you later on. Peace.